Hello Leo, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there is the Seven of Wands. That's very, very strong, assertive energy. That is some energy that is not backing down from anything. And there we've got an 8. Let's see what else we've got going on. More fire energy, some major arcana. Good balance. Looks like a pretty good balance of stuff so far. Oh, and we end with the Fool energy. That's very intriguing. I like the way this is going. Let's quickly do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And that is coming from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're going to just select this card randomly. We're going to put the alien right on top, and alien can just take a little nap over that way. All right, so this is hopefully going to tie everything together at the end. Okay. But let's look at these energies first, because I'm seeing some court cards here. I'm seeing some fire, some earth, some water, more fire, more water, more majors. We've got a little earth and air with a major arcana here. So it's sort of balanced, but you know what we don't have is any like outright air energy. We don't have any swords energy. Yeah. So let's find out why that might be, if we need to bring some in, or maybe if we're good without it. Right? Let's start with the 7. 7 of Wands right in the middle. This is, I think success is very close. I think the closer you get to succeeding at whatever it is you're doing, now this is going to apply either to your career, employment, your job, your work, your creative projects, your relationships, your home life, really anything that we're doing, even if you're retired, if you live alone, if you live with people, whatever you're doing with your time, whatever you are trying to be successful at right now in your life, I think we're very close. And I think that the closer we get, the more we're feeling the resistance, right? It's like that last little inch is the biggest fight of your life, right? It's that final push that's going to take us right over the edge into success. Okay. I feel like you're somebody who likes a challenge. I feel as if you kind of like doing things solo because you like that feeling of being self-reliant. You know, I feel like it's a pretty standard Leo quality, at least with the Leos that I've met. And with some of you here on the channel that I've interacted with. I think that's a real quality, a real positive quality. This ability to be self-reliant, to be able to depend on ourselves, to know that we are ready to face any challenge. This is the card of facing challenges, okay? Let's face it. No pun intended. Even if the odds seem like they're against you, even if the closer we get, the more difficult it seems to get, you're pushing through, right? And what we see coming after is really a lot of kind of the tranquility that comes after all the fighting, right? We have fire here. Then we've got kind of slow, peaceful growth. We've got some enjoyment. Then we've got a little bit more fire coming after. So it kind of is feeling to me like we're very, very close to success, but that's not the end of the game, right? After we achieve this, then we're going to start working toward the next level, right? So we're not stopping. And I think that's important for you. I think you always need something to focus all of your power on. Though I feel like you do like periods of time where you can just kind of lay in the sun and enjoy yourself. But then it's right back to work, right? So I feel like whatever you're doing, though, there is this difficulty right now, and I feel like your very next move needs to be very careful. We've got that Eight of Pentacles crossing our path. So this is saying, hey, look, right now you're very close to winning. You have to be extra careful. Your next move is like the most important, right? So we have to check all of the details. We have to go over everything, double check, triple check. Make sure all of the wires are plugged in, right? Simple things too. Like you just, you make a mistake in a file name, or you put one too many zeros, or you put the period in the wrong place, or the decimal point, right, in the wrong place. And it's a simple mistake like that will get you. So I feel like your very next move now needs to be very well thought out, right? Because we're very close to winning. Pay attention to those little details. And I think once we get to this point, once we kind of cross that threshold, right, then we can relax. Then we've got this Four of Cups. Then we can calm down, right? We can relax a little bit. We can enjoy. This card's all about, luxury and feeling good and just sitting in a comfortable chair. This is the kind of laying out in the sun. Even though it may not really look like a card that's laying out in the sun, this is the vibe that I get right now. It's just kind of, we can just hang out for a minute, You do have more work to do because I feel like your ultimate goal is up here with this Fool energy. And that's freedom. The Fool energy to me is transcending this need for work and then a little rest and then a stronger push and then a little rest. We're trying to really break free from that. So I feel like your end game is really about freedom, about not being limited or constrained in your life. Now, this is creatively, financially, in terms of your love life or your relationships, in terms of your work, your career, all of these things. I'm thinking that you really want an opportunity to not be weighed down by things, to literally be free and to be light as a feather. Maybe there are other things that you want to put your attention on, other things that you want to do that don't really play much of a role in this current work. Like maybe the work you're doing now is to secure your earthly life, your success, your health, and your wealth, right? We do see some earth energies down here. But what you really want to do with your life, what your real goals and ambitions are, transcend just the physical life. Maintaining our physical life, achieving success in our careers or whatever. You're looking for what can be beyond that, right? What can transcend that. And I think that is a sense of freedom, a sense of not being restricted in how you can express yourself, how you can explore the field of your universe, right? The field of your experience. But anyway, Fool energy, yeah. So in the recent past, we've got a Prince of Wands, and then down beneath we have a Prince of Discs. So it could be that there could be a couple of other people involved in this with you. Let's talk about the Prince of Wands first, because this is some good fire energy. This could be someone that you're doing this kind of final struggle against, right? This could be some kind of competition, because we do see a trend with the fire energy. So I'm wondering if this is some person or entity or some symbolic object or a symbolic representation of this final battle, right? This most difficult last few feet, or meters if you're anywhere but the US, I guess. So it could be another person, could be a fire sign person, could be an air sign person. I feel like they, I feel like this is almost like a direct competitor in some way. I feel like it's someone who's not trying to block you. They're just trying to get to the finish line first, right? So maybe it's a friendly kind of competition. I don't know, but I feel like this is where we need to be very careful. This is where you're almost at the finish line of the race, and someone trips you, or you trip over your shoelace, or your shoe's untied, and then you go stumbling. And then this person can just casually glide ahead and take the win, okay? So I don't think they're actively sabotaging you, but I think that we need to be very careful of the energy that's being put into our work right now, and make sure that we've got all of the details really really carefully looked at, okay? And I think that's part of your nature anyway. Here we have this Prince of Discs, and to me this is more of like a Taurus kind of energy, but this is what you're all about right now. This is you working steadily and diligently, and this is a little bit of that air energy. I know at the beginning we said that there wasn't that much air energy, and there really isn't. There are no swords cards, so I don't feel like there's any real conflicts or any real disagreements. There's no friction with people. There's no issue with our relationships per se. There's no confusion. There's no doubt. I think you're very sure of what you want to do, but also the lack of swords energy could be talking about a need for awareness. You need to pay attention, right? We don't have the sword, but we need at least one or two. We have to pay attention to what's going on. This card is representing someone with their head down doing the work, right? And this is down beneath everything, so you may not recognize that you kind of got your blinders on. If you look very closely at this card, let's see if I can get that close. The eyes are closed, right? The eyes are closed. It's just somebody who's working isn't really paying attention to those fine details. They may think they are, but they're really not. So this card, the Prince, is all about the air energy of the earth. So it's, again, kind of reinforcing this need to pay attention to the details. Okay? I really think that your next move is very important. The work that you're on, this final push, this final struggle, is the most important part of this project, this business, this, whatever you're working on. Okay? I like that we have this High Priestess at the top. This is kind of what you're aspiring to. This is really the glory, right? This is kind of the why behind everything. This is why you're doing what you're doing. I think you feel a higher calling with this work. I think you feel that this was ordained, that this is some kind of destiny or synchronicity or some kind of, magical manifestation that we're working on. I feel like there's really something transcendent about this work that you're doing. I know we're using that word with the Fool energy too, because I feel like this is the transcendent energy coming down into our work, and now we're trying to get this to kind of go back up, and we're trying to transcend with it into that Fool energy. So I think that you have a very strong magical, psychic, mystical, religious, spiritual connection to what you're doing. I think that it is a calling. Okay? And I feel like you're aware of that, because this card's at the top here of the Path of the Dove. I feel like you're aware that this is your calling. Yeah. So I like that. It feels like we're being guided by this divine light. But again, the caution with this card even is saying, look, we may be so enamored by the majesty of what we're doing. Wrong camera there, sorry. We may be so distracted by this moon energy that we're kind of enamored by it. Yeah. And then we can kind of take our eyes off the details because we're just kind of awestruck by this energy. And this is like the enthusiasm. This is getting very carried away, very involved, just very enraptured by the meaning behind what we're doing, by the implications, by thinking of the future and thinking about, what it means to be doing this, and all of these kinds of things that are useful to think about, but they're taking your eye off of these details, right? They're taking your eye off the details. And it's kind of like this, well, like I said with this prince, it's kind of like your eyes are closed because you're basking in the glory, right? You're basking in this moonlight. And so your eyes might be closed to the details that you really need to be focused on right now if we're going to get here to the intermediary stage, the interim here, between the path of the dove and the path of the serpent. When we get to the path of the serpent, first thing we see is this devil energy, right? And again, with the devil energy, this is a card that is has the potential for you to get so wrapped up in the glory of this, so wrapped up in the moonlight, that we're not paying attention to the details, okay? And that's kind of a trick of the devil. You get so caught up in one thing, so just kind of hypnotized by certain aspects of this work that we're losing sight. We literally have our eyes closed. But having our eyes closed in some sense is good, because that's kind of using our intuition. Eyes closed means that we're trying not to put any of our own bias in something. We're trying to just kind of feel our way through it, which is good, right? So none of these cards are all shadow. Like the High Priestess card doesn't mean that you're just, you're so carried away that you're not paying attention. But there is that hint that we need to, it's okay to be enraptured by this. It's okay to be guided by our intuition. It's good, we need that. We also need to be paying attention to our work, what our hands are doing. Let's not make a mistake. Let's make sure to tie our shoes before we go running this race, So the devil energy also is representing your continued ambition. Even after this interim period of rest and relaxation with the Four of Cups here, our general energy then still becomes the devil energy. And we're pushing again. There's another mountain for us to climb. There's going to be one mountain after the other. Right? You're never done. So it could be that there's literally another phase of work after this, or that after you've enjoyed your success, because I think this Four of Cups is your success. I think it's very close. After this is over, then we're going to realize, okay, that there's more that I can do. I can continue to climb this mountain toward the absolute summit, where I'll find that Fool energy. The Fool is rarefied air, right? The Fool is pure air, right? But it might be so, the elevation might be so high when we get to this Fool energy that there's no oxygen. And probably why, again, there's no other air or swords in the reading, because up here where this Fool is, the oxygen is very thin. When the higher you get, the less oxygen. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but that's what I've read. Anyway, I've never been that high up in elevation without some sort of oxygen anyway. So anyway, the mountain is still before us. There's still what we think is the summit, perhaps. We realize that there's a lot more climbing to do, right? So your success is near, but it's not the final success, right? We're looking for more, and we're going to continue to work for more. And that's exactly what we see next with the Five of Wands, in the position of your environment, the position of your dynamic, the relationship that we have with others. Okay, Five of Wands. This is more action. This is more usage of our energy, right? Could be, perhaps, if we look at it this way, this could be a runner, a marathon runner, who has crossed the finish line, but just keeps going. Kind of like, I think, did that happen in Forrest Gump? Just keeps going, just doesn't stop running, right? And someone or something maybe will need to tell you to slow down and enjoy it, right? To just relax and You've made it. You have your success now. But I think the devil, and I think this Five of Wands is not letting you rest, right? We took a real short break with the Four, and then we're back at it. So either we are trying to achieve the unachievable, perhaps. We're trying to transcend to this Fool energy, and we think by continuing to climb up this mountain and fighting for it that we're going to get to the very top. But maybe this is the perfection. Maybe this is the ideal that we can never fully attain. But we don't know when is good enough, you know? We know we can't get to absolute perfection. But how close can we get? And I think that's part of our energy right now, is just seeing how close we can get. And that explains why the Six of Cups is in the position of what you don't want. This is peace. This is calm. This is tranquility. This is rest. This is accepting the abundance. This is thinking, I have made it. I am as close to perfection as I can get with this work, my job, my career, this progress, whatever I'm doing. But you don't want this, you know. You don't want to stop pushing toward higher and higher purity, higher and higher elevation, closer to success, right? It's like you don't want to stop. And this is maybe retirement, or this is just saying it can't get any better than this, you know. Maybe that's something that we have to kind of work on, because this position, yeah, it's what we don't want, but sometimes it's what we need. We need a little bit of pleasure. We need to enjoy the fruits of our labors. You've done all of this work. It's okay to stop and enjoy it, right? I think you've earned this. And I think that we need to allow a little bit of this in. It kind of feels to me like we just, you know, we're being forced to take a break. So it's just like we sit down for 1 second, we take a shot of water, and then it's like, okay, I've taken my break. I'm going to go keep working now, you know, just to fulfill the kind of legal requirements for you to sit down for 5 minutes, you know. So we'll see. Leave me some comments. Let me know. Let's look at the mystery card, though, now. This might give us a little bit of insight. Thank you, Alien, for your assistance. Okay, he's going to lay down. Really tired, that alien. This might be some swords. It might be the swords energy that we need, because we need to be aware. We need to be discerning. We need to somehow have a limit, almost, right, to this Fool energy, or to how long we want to continue striving for that absolute perfection, freedom, you know, the closest to the ideal that we can get. We need to know when to stop. Where is the bar for us, right? And the sword might be a good kind of bar for us to have. But let's look. Nope. Judgment, fire energy, rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. This is saying, no, that you've got still more fire to go through, right? And the whole kind of reading was about the fire, and how the fire is creating this success for you, how the fire is what is leading you forward. You're making progress because of this fire energy. So it may be that this success for you really is just kind of the starting point, you know? Or it could be really that we're saying how your next move is like the most important. And we're saying how you have to pay attention to the details now, because maybe this is the final push to the summit, to the highest you're going to get, right? And in order to go through that door, we have to pay attention to all of these details. We have to do things right, be smart. We don't want to overthink it, so we don't need the swords, maybe. We don't want to overthink it. We want to go with our gut, but we want to pay attention to these details, not let anything slip through, no little simple mistakes, right? No carelessness. No carelessness. Because the accomplishment of this is like your next level. It is like a new era for you. It is like going through this doorway into the rest of your life. It is like this resurrection, this rebirth, right? So maybe this is the fire we're in now. And beyond this doorway, because the Judgment card to me, it's like a wake-up call. It's like a trumpet that's calling you toward your future. And we have to step through this doorway. We have to undergo this process. That is usually not an easy one. It's kind of a difficult one. It's a fiery door, after all. But through that fiery door might be this freedom that we're looking for. Okay. So please, take this how it resonates. And of course, it's always your decision how you want to conduct your life. You know what I mean? When you feel like you've achieved enough, or at least enough for now, where you can maybe take a break, take a rest. And it's up to you really how far up this mountain you want to climb. How far is this goat going to go? You know? It really is up to you, but we are going to do an extended. If you want to stick around, click up here. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Leo, but for every sign. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.